Tonight on Expose, Ralph the Robot. For thousands of Elk Grove children, he symbolizes TV fun. But where has Ralph been for the last 14 years? Where does he go when the show ends? And why won't he wipe that stupid grin off his face? We'll find the answers to that and more next, tonight on Expose.
There's a place in space. There's a guy who's great. He's Ralph the Robot. He's Ralph the Robot. He's Ralph the Robot. The Ralph the Robot Show.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Ralph the Robot Show. Hey, that's me.
In the 1980s and early 1990s, Ralph the Robot was the king of TV fun in Elk Grove Village. Children and adults alike followed his many adventures along with his co-host, Madeline Courier, and assorted guests. Life was good.
Ralph was fun. He was like a person to me, and he always had good answers. And the children loved him, just loved him. And he'd pull some funny tricks. By that I mean one time we were talking, and he got too close to the edge of the stage, and he started to fall. And I said, "Oh, Ralph, be careful, be careful." "Oh, thank you, Miss Courier," and we got him back. And you know, you just got into that mode that he was a person to you. Did you know the former hierarchy, Jack Clays and Jean Vormitag? Okay. Jean came to me one day and she said, "Madeline, you were in speech and drama to Paul, right?" "Right." "Okay, you're doing Ralph." I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, I was very lucky to become involved with Ralph the Robot. I was friends with Madeline Courier, and I have another friend, Mark, who has cerebral palsy, who's in a wheelchair. And Madeline thought it would be great for Mark and I to come and to meet Ralph and to talk to the boys and girls about what it's like to have a disability, and for them to see Mark and that even though he's in a wheelchair, he's still just a regular kid. And Mark and Ralph really hit it off. They became good friends, and through that, then Mrs. Courier and Ralph started inviting me back on a regular basis. I read books, as did Mrs. Courier, and I did crafts with children. We had different kids come on to meeting Ralph and doing fun things. Ralph came several times to the library, the old library, and now the new library, and we talked about, books and crafts. And one time at the library, one of Ralph's admirers, Timmy Cromick, came up and shook Ralph's hand and managed to rip his entire arm off. So Ralph had to go back to his home planet and get that fixed up. And then he came back better than ever. Well, I really love Ralph. Ralphie is a great friend, and we just had so much fun together. We used to kid around, and I used to call him Ralphie, and he used to call me Moosey, and we had a good time together.
Not only was the show doing well, but Ralph's personal life was also on an upward trend.
Ralph and I met at a convention. It was a mechanical engineers convention at the Holiday Inn on 53. And oh my goodness, he was just the sweetest thing. He took me around, introduced me to all of his friends, all of his colleagues, and just made me feel so special. Oh, I just loved him. And then he took me out to dinner at their coffee shop, and he ordered me their steak, which was really kind of tough, but the thought that counts, I've always been attracted to short guys. And he just, he's just so cute. And his personality, he's just always so bubbly and friendly. He just loves everybody. But I don't know, sometimes he can be a little moody. But that's all right, you can't have the up without the down. So he's just a special guy. He introduced me to all of his mechanic friends. We would always go into a garage to help him, watch him fix cars. And he took me to a lot of conventions, the mechanical engineering conventions, because he was always a featured speaker at those. He took me out to eat a lot, but it was at not real expensive restaurants. But that's all right. I could always find something good on the menu, like a salad. Nice chef salad, always good. We would go for car rides, although I'd have to drive because he really couldn't reach the pedals too often. But it was fun. We always had real good times together. I just felt so wonderful when he would take me out and show me off on his armature, well, whatever you want to call it. He was just always so wonderful out in public. He'd walk me down the red carpet and spin me around a few times to show me off. I just felt so famous myself, and I know I was kind of clinging on to him, but hey, the ride was worth it. It's just so wonderful. Oh, Ralph, he was the best at gift giving. He had this awesome guy who composed symphonies on his synthesizer, and he would send me tapes all the time. And he'd try to do a little singing in the background, but it's all right. It wasn't too bad. He gave me all sorts of jewelry made out of all these really cool wires and electrical components. I have never seen stuff quite as unique before in my life. He also used to take me, we used to go for drives all over the country, mostly to garages, like I said. His friends were lots of mechanics, but we always had so much fun in the car. We were just driving all over the country.
Yes, it was quite a ride that Ralph the Robot was on. Fame, girls, and 10W40. It seemed as if the good times would never end. Then, the end came quickly, like a female lion pouncing on a wounded gazelle, unaware of the tragedy about to befall.